What's going on today, guys? You know me, you know him. In case you don't, Random Andrew, that's brother Craig. Welcome to the channel. I know I've got a few new subscribers. Here on the Random Andrew channel, we do random things. A lot more so lately. I'd like to be doing more outdoors stuff. I tried to get out and do some winter camping, as some of you guys know, and that didn't pan out. It's just really hard to get everything out there. I think I've become really accustomed to using that boat. That canoe, it's just made life so easy to get stuff out to the campsite. And when you have to haul everything in a sled. Yeah. Anyways, today we're going on a hike. As you can probably tell by the thumbnail or the title, we found some information about one of our classic road to us. It's not really even a road here in St. Thomas anymore, but the information came to do with what would have been in the 1880s a proposed water source for the St. Thomas area. And this is going down off the end of Shorlea Road. We are not actually at the end of Shorlea Road. We're at where Shorlea would have come out over 100 years ago, according to this map. So let's get on this hike and we'll start exploring it. Throughout, I'll try and throw in shots of this map we're discussing and maybe some voice overlays so that I can explain a little bit of it. You ready?
I'm in.
All right, let's go do this. It's a perfect day for hiking. Starting out from down here, Dan Patterson's, just off Highbury Road between St. Thomas and London. Dan Patterson's cabin. And then there's, I guess there's cross-country skiing. A lot of people go cross-country skiing back through the trails that way.
We've been back there. We've done some RC videos back there.
Yeah, we actually did one really good one.
Oh, let's try to start up here. As I can imagine, this is probably right?
Yeah. Well, the water level's definitely down. And a chipmunk!
I saw that.
I seen a chipmunk. He was right down in there. He's just going underneath the glaciers. Well, they're glaciers to him.
There he goes.
Yeah. Wow, look at all this wash up.
There he goes. They're all over the place.
Yeah. All right. Maybe it's going to be a really good day to be out here.
So wouldn't this be a perfect spot to load our canoes?
You know, actually, I do think the water level is up still a little bit. But for the most part, I think it's definitely, what's that word? Navigable. Navigatable. Yeah, we're gonna go in down up there. So the map actually indicates that the trail's supposed to start way back here under the bridge. Good look at underneath Highbury Bridge here. You see all these remains of concrete and stuff, right? I'm wondering if a lot of these were like an old bridge or something, because that looks like a hunk of curb right there. Another hunk of curb. It's got a slight bit of curve to it. When you look at the old map, part of Highbury actually had curves in it back then, according to that map. So we usually load down here. It actually looks like the surface of the water, like where the creek shape under the bridge has changed shape a bit.
And it looks like it's only up by a couple inches right now.
Yeah. So normally it would be low enough that you could see the bottom of the creek right here, and you'd see the stuff you'd get snagged on. But right now, if we loaded in there, it'd be smooth sailing. It's a good wee bit of trail along here. Everything's super soft, and yes, that was Craig in the background. Big thumbs up for Craig. Oh. Zip plane, boss, zip plane. Yeah, everything is super soft on the trail right now. So we're walking slightly off to the side. And I have a theory. Once again, we'll throw up a shot of this 1880s map, older map anyways.
Right here.
And you'll see this is Mapleton Line, or Mapleton, whatever you want to call it. And it looks like that road would have went straight through off of the end of here. So hang on a second.
What is like attached to here, right?
Yeah. Okay. So here's Mapleton line, and if you look at that map, you'll see that Mapleton runs straight on through Highbury and continues on west. Well, here's west. I'm looking at Mapleton right here, Craig, right behind me. Yep. I'm directly in line with it. Now keep in mind, this is over 100 years ago, right?
But I mean, geographics don't change that much.
There's no way this hill just showed up within the last 100 years. So how could that road have gone straight through like it shows on the map? Unless, yeah, where we're about to go is perhaps the way it actually went. But it just doesn't make any sense. We're gonna have to ask Mr. Peters about that.
Hang on. It is a proper hiking trail.
Yeah.
A yellow dot.
So here is where the actual trail is. You can see there's a sign there, Kettle Creek Conservation. Just basically telling you to use the trail at your own risk. And this is right alongside of Highbury. You can see Dan Patterson's way over there. Hang on. Now though, I gotta speak up a little bit because of traffic, so bear with me guys. But the problem with this being the trail, or being the road that we're looking for, in other words, the east side of Shorlea that would have connected to Highbury. Problem with it, this can't be it, because this is on the wrong side of the Kettle. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely the wrong side of Kettle Creek, and it curves around this hill that's here, bringing you up to where Salt Creek is, which is where we're about to end up. So we're gonna hike along this trail just for the hell of it. We're not gonna find that road. It's just no signs of it over there. Yeah, all just chopped. See a lot of it along these hiking trails. Ash borers or whatever, like they cut down certain trees.
Yeah.
Now there is concrete rubble along here. And that road would have been right over here, but it would have had to have gone up and over that hill. And up there, we know what's up there.
I'm wondering if this is what's surviving from the coming out of there.
I can't see that. This is on the wrong side of the creek.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
This is on, what would I'd say, the south side of the Kettle. Heck yeah, man, we should be getting some canoes on that water.
We will, very shortly.
A bit further along that same trail, just going around this great big mound of a hill, which we will investigate. I'm wondering why it's just this individual hill. But we know this road. Craig and I have been out here before, and maybe we'll do an update video in the spring, because right now we're just hiking. But here's some remains of the old Salt Creek Mill. All piled up along the side here. And you see right here, you can see the blocks. And if you follow it up, it goes up the trail for the next 100 meters or so. Maybe 100 feet. 100 some. Anyways, you can see the different materials, like this guy right here.
This is an old blade.
Pretty sure that's an old splitting blade.
Yeah. And that's in there.
Yeah, it's in the concrete. Now, if that's not a blade, then it's some kind of a guide. Now, here's another one. You could see that planed angle on the edge of it. It certainly does look like a blade. An old one. And these ruins, they go back in probably 30, 40 feet. And they follow right along this trail. So this trail very well could have been an old access road for the mill itself. Oh yeah, the old piping. Old cast piping. Wonder if that was made at Canron. Or would Canron have been around when that mill was around is a good question too. So, man, this is, okay, you guys, you gotta understand, I need a time machine. It's the only way I'm gonna know exactly what stood here.
Random rock.
And I'm betting you Steve Peters could probably sit there and tell you every single thing about it.
It's not a random rock.
He is a local fountain of knowledge when it comes to history of St. Thomas. History of St. Thomas. I was trying to say his story, like his version, what he could tell you would be a lot more in depth. And I'm just gonna keep on filming until we get to what's coming up here. And you notice the mill remains. They end right about here, all the large slabs of concrete and everything. Okay, further up, you can see Craig's footprints. It is gushy. He's smart. He's wearing boots this year. Every other year he's worn runners of some sort or another out, sneakers.
Never ends up good.
I'm wearing runners today, but they're muddy from our seeing the other day.
Oh, let's put a little sign up with the end here.
Nice. Let's go see what that sign says. So here's Salt Creek Bridge. Hey guys, I just wanted to jump in real quick here and mention something. I figured it out while I'm sitting here editing and I'm looking at this old map. By the way, credit to Steve Peters for that old map of the area that we're hiking in today. But that road, the road that Craig and I are walking along, currently in this point in the video, is actually not an access road for an old Salt Creek mill, which we're not even sure it's a mill. But this road is part of Old Highbury, when it curved still. I just thought to jump in and point that out. Back to the hike. Be a single lane bridge by today's standards.
I'm sure it's seen its share of traffic in its time.
Yeah. Now this is why it's about Shorlea Road. We're actually a good distance away from where Shorlea Road would be to run the way that that map shows Shorlea Road to have run. You remember we were out doing some air gun shooting one day.
Yeah.
And we had an older gentleman who was kayaking up the river.
Yeah.
And he was telling us a story about Salt Creek. And he said the natives that used to live in the area told some settlers that there was a salt mine here. That there were salt deposits, that they could mine salt out of this area. So they were going to set up operation. I guess they went well into way to setting up operation. And later found out there's no salt mine. He was just pulling their leg.
There ain't no salt here.
So maybe that's how it got its name, Salt Creek. This is just a story from a guy who's been around a lot longer than we have. He's probably heard a lot more than we have when it comes to those stories. This is great. It's an awesome day to be out.
Hi,
Craig.
this is the Craig part of the day. I'm just going to take the camera and we're going to go down here and I'm going to show you what that's all about.
And trust me, he found something he would like to share with you guys, so I'm handing the vlog off to Craig for a minute. Don't worry, I feel you guys are safe.
Andy just has to finish his Timmy's. Give me a sec here. Okay, we're good to go. Alright, so this is at the end of Salt Creek Bridge. They put this little photography out here of the local plant life that's out here. So if you're ever out here, take a good look at the ground, because this is the stuff that's out here. Some really pretty stuff in the summertime. Okay, thank you.
Alright, we got you guys mounted up on the tripod now. Had you on the U-shaped camera mount. I want to try it with the tripod, see if it looks any different. This here's Salt Creek. Just saying to Craig, it'll be a shame a couple months from now. This creek will be absolutely no flow. You can pass it on the kettle where this dumps into the kettle down there and see absolutely not a drop coming out of it, which means it is spring fed to a certain degree. But I think maybe that spring runs dry during the spring and summer. Otherwise, what you're seeing mainly here is snow melting off the fields and running into here for the next so many miles that way. But we're gonna go back and take a look at a spot we've used to cross the kettle before. After we just take one more good look down here. Groovy. Oh. You can see the rebar hanging out of the bridge. It's a great big,
if that was made at Cameron.
great big crack running along there. And Salt Creek Farm is right up there. Somewhere up there. But yeah, so trucks would have came down in here. Or vehicles would have came down here. Maybe horse and buggy to go get lumber from the mill down here. This is my best guess. Alright, let's go have a look.
Yeah, all kinds of material down here is waiting to be used.
Yeah. Of course there's going to be lumber down here. It was a mill.
Lumber.
Oh yeah, you could see all the moss growing back in here. That's all concrete chunks.
Don't follow me.
The gushiness of it. Whoa. There's that plumbing section. The plumbing section. Get your pipes.
There's a department store.
Well, imagine 100 years from now, people doing ruins of a city or something. Oh yeah, that was I think this was a Sears. You could see what's left of the old mannequins. I mean, some conditions and some old abandoned places are like that already.
Yeah.
The decay.
See what kind of bones we can find this year.
Yeah, we came back here to cross the creek one year to get over to the north side of the kettle, which is the side we enjoy. And we found bones and remains of a downed deer. Because coyotes and whatnot, right? And it is super soft over here. Wow, it's flowing good. This would be an awesome canoe ride right now.
Yeah, it certainly did its share of tearing up the side of the side here.
Looks good.
Is it? Yeah, down there.
And here's the pines way up there. A good section of pines. It's weird how it's only one little section, but you know. So here's a spot where we used to be able to just walk right across, and right now that's up a little bit because a lot of this stone would all be exposed and dry. So if we were to try coming down and through here now, we wouldn't have to stop. We just go right under through this spot right here.
We just rip right through.
But don't forget there's also that section there. There's a couple of big rocks right there.
There's a few narnars. We got to get down here with the pry bar.
Yeah, and nicer, less flowy weather.
Yeah.
But yeah, we crossed right here. I crossed it in bare feet in the middle of what? Was it April? March or April the one year?
Around this temperature.
Yeah. And it was so cold, Craig was having trouble getting across. It was hurting his feet. I just guess I got numb feet, but we got across, followed the creek line, and eventually made our way to our spot, which you can't even see the overhead markers. Anyway, you see no remains this year. So you want to go climb a hill?
Sure.
All right. Warning, younger viewers, cover your eyes. This next shot, you might not be too pleasant with. It's not like really nasty, but if it's something you're not accustomed to seeing or used to seeing, you might be grossed out. So there's your warning.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Told you we were gonna see if we could find any remains.
So we gotta, whoa, let's fall into it.
Yep, I guess they don't like the leg very much.
Yeah, there's all kinds of meat there.
But that's signs of healthy coyotes out here somewhere.
Yeah, and that's a day old at least.
I don't know, the cold weather might have preserved it a little bit. It's hard to say. What do you guys think? Could that have been sitting here a while and just preserved from the cold, or you think that's a fresh leftovers? That's the thing though, out in the wild, out in the bush, this is what happens out here, as opposed to in town where the closest thing you're ever gonna see to that has already been cleaned up, wrapped up, and sold to you in a grocery store. Right? Like, nature. Everybody lives such a soft existence of a life now. And they see stuff like that, it's like, ew! It's just how it is. Okay, we got a hill to climb. I'm not gonna try and film while I'm climbing, but I'll let you know when we get to the top. Wow, that was a good hill to climb. You can see that way down there? It's almost like a corridor straight through there. Well, other than game trails, this is pretty much just a great big hill up on top. Well, it's just a big hill. Kettle Creek would have carved out that side of the valley. I guess Salt Creek took care of this side and left this hill right in the middle. So you see that white strip of snow and ice? That's the trail we hiked in on. And then over here, like I said, is literally just a hill between two creeks. Between two gullies. So this is off towards Highbury, straight over here. I don't think there's going to be anything on the top of this hill, but I thought, what the heck? We never hiked up on top of this hill before. So now we're going to try and meander our way down, back down to the trail. Oh boy. And back down to the trail. Oh my goodness. So when I say it's a hill up there, I'm not exactly joking. It's a hill.
It's a hill. One hell of a hill.
Well, we're back into the trail. We're about to close up the hike for now. Now that we've investigated over there, showing the trail, it's more areas to explore and have fun. But right now, we are lined up with Mapleton Road. Mapleton, apparently according to this old map, this one right here, used to, as you can see, it used to go straight through on this map. But now, back to reality, we're standing here and we're looking, and it would have had to gone straight up here for that map.
You guys see that clearing right there?
Hardly a clearing.
Yeah.
We would literally need to go up on top of the hill and look to see any signs or evidence up on the top of the hillside.
Let's go.
After we check on something important.
All right.
Okay, we're up here in the pine section by the hut. You guys can see that through there. Okay. And theoretically, this is about where the eastern section of Shorlea should have ran according to that map, right? But I mean, we're up on a hill right now. And it's the density of the trees through here is a lot less. So in other words, there's less older trees, and it's almost more like it is not almost, it is more clear from here going on in through here. But then you start getting into more hill over here, and its actual proximity to a field over this way isn't too far either. So where it would have come from in this way, it's not making much sense at all, unless maybe over this way a bit more. But the trees are fairly dense through a lot of this. So I could not see a road having ever been through here. Mind you, it is 150, close to 150 years. Now you can see there's a strip through here where the trees are a lot less dense, but not quite like this, right? Dense trees, smart trees. I mean, less dense trees, really less density.
They went to school and stuff.
So this search for old Shorlea, the eastern side of Shorlea Road between Highbury and Dalewood, you pretty much need a time machine, and if that happens, we're going to bring Steve Peters because he knows this stuff. Alright, so we're still zigzagging in the woods looking for evidence of old Shorlea Road East. That's a good name for it, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And this here is flat. The density is decreased, like, you know, as if there used to be something here. The trees that are around look a lot older. Like this guy right here. This tree, might be a her, could have been around 150 years ago, 100 years ago even, and you could see how clear and open this is to everything else. I'm wondering if maybe that road, so I'll show you the property line there. There is a property over there, so this is normally something we wouldn't do, being this close to a property, or a property line. Don't want to freak anybody out. But now we're making our way out of the woods. Well, Craig's phone makes a weird noise. You ever had that? Your phone just starts making a weird alert that you never heard before? He thinks it's his trip alarm because he trips shortly after it goes off.
It's my spy tech.
I think it's just telling you you're at a signal, or...
Yeah.
Oh, and you gotta watch when you're walking through areas with hawthorns. Wear something with a good thick sole on the bottom, because I have a hole in the bottom of my foot now. It hurt. Yeah, like look at this. The other possibility is I was thinking that maybe the trail we used to get back to the hut could have possibly even been it, but I don't think it would line up with Maple Road. Whatever we were looking for, whatever we're gonna find, should line up with Maple Road or Mapleton Line or whatever the heck that's called. So yeah, even though we know we probably won't find anything, it's still fun and intriguing to get out here and look and try and find stuff. Like here's a... That's the other thing too, is once it's warmer and we can get down to some of our old campgrounds like Bird Eye Hill,
yeah,
that's where those wells were supposed to have been drilled, and there's supposed to be a pump house as well.
okay, so this has been eroded. Ow!
You know what? We are perfectly in line with Maple Line right now. Following this cleared out section, you can't probably see it, but it's like right here. So that means the road would have had to have come
There's a trail going on there.
up here to be perfectly in line. And I just can't see that. Does it look like there's ever a road here to you guys?
Could you imagine going down this hill with a horse and a buggy?
That'd be a scary ride. And I don't see a clearing of trees, but all these trees could have grown up in that amount of time easily. So we're gonna close out the vlog here. You got anything, Dad?
No, I'm good.
Okay. He's just looking. You can almost see it, but at the same time, this would have been a heck of a hill.
Yeah.
You think they would have had a switchback or two to get up here. Anyhow.
Either way, it would have been really hard to get up here.
Thanks for joining this adventure, guys. It's been fun. So thanks for joining us on this hike today, guys. Always a pleasure having you with us. And stay tuned, because I know I had a little bit of a lengthy break in making videos, to be explained at a later date still, sorry. But back at it. Gonna be getting some regular videos up again soon, so share them. The outdoors videos in the outdoor places, wherever. I mean, heck, even if you just gotta go knock on your neighbor's door and say, hey, subscribe to this Random Andrew. They'll thank you later. Anyways, have a good day, folks. We'll see you again soon. Vlog over.